Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be doing my January TBR. I am looking forward to doing this one. I have decided this time round that I am going to take out the prompts that came out last time. Somebody suggested this in last month's TBR video to stop them coming up again, because I think about 3 or 4 of them came up from the previous one. So I have decided to take those out to stop them coming up again. They'll go back in next time round, and the ones that come out today will come out. So just keeps it more entertaining and a little bit, you know, the prompts a bit more on rotation and stuff. I did just want to preface this video by saying that it's currently about 8 degrees in my house. My boiler's broke, so I'm absolutely freezing. But, you know, the show must go on. So trying to keep myself warm. I have a long sleeve shirt and a jumper on, so yeah, if I'm not my usual chipper self, that is why. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. In the month of January, I do have the final book support group, round 5 I think, which is a 48-hour round on the 7th and 8th of January. So I'm hopefully going to get books on here for that. I know exactly what I want to read. I've got 2 books in mind. And usually in the month of January there is a winter ween round as well, so I'm not sure whether that's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but I'm hoping that it will. So if I could get some thrillers on, that would be nice. I do have a stack of books next to me that I would like to get on here, so hopefully I can manage that. But we are also reintroducing the Patreon pot. This is the pot that my Squad 312 and Extraordinaries put books into for me. I did have this for a while, and then I was starting to really struggle. It was whilst my slump was really hitting hard earlier on in the year, and I was starting to really struggle with trying to keep up with certain things. But I think I'm ready to get back into it and reintroduce this to my TBR. So let's pull this one first. Not everybody's put something in, but I have a few, so we'll see how that goes. But let's pull something from here first. I'm a bit nervous because I think I've got some chunky ones in here, so we'll see what gets pulled. Whoopsie. We have, oh okay, we've got Victoria's, which is Love Virtually. Let me just grab that. Oh, my knee just cracked on the floor. I don't know why I'm holding my shoulder. I hit my shoulder on something as well. Clumsy. Okay, so this is Love Virtually by Daniel Galater, I think. Victoria sent me this one a while ago, and I've been meaning to get to it and just haven't. And oh, Victoria's letter. And I think this is a little bit like, yeah, it's told in letter format, and I assume it's a little bit like You've Got Mail. So I'm keen on that. Is there a safer space for secret desires than virtual reality? It begins by chance. Leo receives emails in error from an unknown woman called Emmy. Being polite, he replies, and Emmy writes back. A few brief exchanges, and all it takes to spark mutual interest in each other. And soon Emmy and Leo are sharing their innermost secrets and desires. The erotic tension simmers, and it seems only a matter of time before they will meet in person. But they keep putting that moment off. The prospect both excites and unsettles them, and after all, Emmy is happily married. Will their feelings for each other survive the test of real life encounter? And if so, what then? It sounds really, really good. To look at this cover, you wouldn't think it is what it is. But yeah, it sounds really good, and it has been, on the back it says, Love Virtually is a funny, fast-paced and utterly absorbing novel with plenty of twists and turns about a love affair conducted entirely by email. So I am intrigued by that one. Thanks, Victoria, for putting that one on my TBR. So that's the first book on my TBR. And now we get to the pumpkin pot. Ding. Okay. I'm going to dig deep in here because I would really like to get some, well, I'm obviously going to get some new prompts. I've taken the old ones out, but one barra, come on. Okay. Okay, we've got a book with an animal by Judith Cake Lover. Sorry, Judith. Let's have a quick butcher's and see if any of these have animals in them. Okay, that threw me for a loop because none of the books on my that I need to get on my TBR have animals in them. But we're going to go for Fenris and Mott by Greg Van Eekhout. I think that's how you pronounce that. This is following Fenris and Mott. Mott is a dog. And actually, Mott wanted to rescue a puppy. It turns out she needed to rescue the world. Oh, Fenris is the dog, sorry. Mott knows how important it is to keep a promise. I think basically this is, she finds a puppy abandoned. She takes it in and to keep it safe and protect him, but he's no ordinary pup. He's a legendary wolf named Fenris who's prophesied to bring about the end of the world by eating the moon. So she has to try and stop that from happening. It's got Norse gods in it and stuff. It's not very long. And I've been wanting to pick this up since it came in the Alcrate Junior box, so I'm really excited to get round to this one. So that's perfect. Thank you, Judith, for picking that prompt for me. So book number 2. We have a book with a purple cover from Sandra, obviously, because purple is her thing. Again, that's blue. None of the books I want to get on this TBR have purple on the cover, so yay for that. Let's have a quick butchers. Okay. You know what is kind of purpley and makes a bit of sense, to be honest, and ironically enough she picked this too, is The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schweifer. Basically, Sandra has picked this one for my 12 books in 12 friends challenge, so I might as well go for this one because I've got to read it anyway, and I quite fancy a bit of sci-fi, I'm not going to lie. I think this could be queer, I'm not sure. After the first settler on Titan trips her distress signal, neither remaining country on Earth can afford to scramble a rescue of its own, and so 2 sworn enemies are installed in the same spaceship. Ambrose wakes up on the coordinated endeavour with no memory of a launch. There's more that doesn't add up. Evidence indicates strangers have been on board. The ship's operating system is voiced by his mother, and his handsome brooding shipmate has barricaded himself away. Nothing will stop Ambrose from making his mission succeed, though. Not when the settler he's rescuing is his own sister. In order to survive the ship's secrets, Ambrose and Kodiak will need to work together and learn to trust one another, especially once they discover that they are up against a larger force than they had ever considered. Love might be the only way to survive. So, a tender romance with a mind-bending mystery, celebrating how the human capacity for love burns bright, even when surrounded by unthinkable deception. Sounds interesting. I've heard very good things. And Sandra did pick this one for my 12 books from 12 friends thing, so I'm looking forward to this one. Thanks, Sandra, for that one. Okay, so far I haven't managed to get any of the books I need to get on here on, and we're 2 books in, so we're definitely going for 7 today. So book number 3. Let's go for just this one. Read a book that means self-care for you from B. This came out in the first one, but not in the second one. So this one's definitely going to mean self-care for me. We have Running Wild by K.A. Tucker. I want to read this one for Final Book Support Group. It is the final book in the series, or at least so far. I don't know if K.A. Tucker's going to end up doing any more. I'm not sure. But this one came out last year, I think 2021. Or was it even longer than that? I'm fairly certain it was 2020. Oh, it came out this year. My apologies. There could be more. So I'm looking forward to this one. Again, reading it for Final Book Support Group. It gets me to the end of a series. And it's like self-care for me because I just recently read Forever Wild, which is the novella, the 3rd book in the series. And it was just so adorable to be back with these characters. So I'm looking forward to going back to them. This one says, this is the story of a woman at a crossroads in her life, struggling between the safe route and the one that will only lead to more heartbreak. Oh, so this is following different characters. I assume Calla and Jonah may be in here, but I'm not sure. This one says, a veteran Marie Lear knows unrequited love all too well after pining for her best friend only to watch him marry another woman. It's a mistake she will never make again, especially not when she can practically hear the clock ticking on her child bearing years. The trouble is, she can't seem to find anyone who appeals to her even a fraction as much as that burly bush pilot did. Competitive musher Tyler Bradley certainly doesn't, especially not after the heated altercation with the handsome, arrogant, spiteful man. Or so she thinks. While volunteering at the Iditarod sled dog race, Marie discovers that first impressions may have been false and her attraction to Tyler is very real. But his heart belongs to someone else, leaving him with nothing to offer but friendship. Marie's been down this road before and knows how this ends. Yet no matter how hard she works to keep from falling for Tyler, it seems she's doomed to fall for her own trail once again. So yeah, very interesting. We've been following Marie for a while now, so it's going to be really interesting to get her story. So I'm excited about that. I wonder if she's going to do a couple of different books then for the spin-off characters maybe. But yeah, a book that means self-care to me. Thanks, B, for that prompt. So book number 3. Read a book with leaves on the cover. Hang on, I think I can nail this. Yeah, boy. Okay, so this one has been suggested by B Mitchell 1230. Thank you very much. And for this one, we are going to go for the January Literature Book Club pick, and we're going for Priest by Sierra Simone. I'm really excited about reading this one. It has got leaves on the cover, as you can see. So I am excited about reading this one. On the back it says there are many rules a priest can break. A priest cannot marry, a priest cannot abandon his flock, a priest cannot forsaken his God. I've always been good at following rules until she came, then I learned new rules. My name is Tyler Anselm Bell. I'm 29 years old. 6 months ago I broke my vow of celibacy on the altar of my own church, and God help me, I would do it again. I'm a priest and this is my confession. I'm so excited to read this book. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, this is the book pick for January for Literature Book Club. If you want more information about Literature Book Club, I will leave the link to the announcement video for January, February, March up here, so you can go and see what our book picks are. But yeah, Priest is going on. Thank you very much, B Mitchell 1230. I appreciate the prompt. Okay, book number 5. A book with a title that makes you smile from Michelle. Ooh, okay. Okay, so I'm actually going for a book that over time the title has started to make me smile, because I'm really eagerly anticipating reading this one, and it is Finley Donovan is Killing It. I'm just really excited to read this book. I've been so hyped for it for a while now, and I just really want to pick it up, so this is the perfect time to do that. This is following Finley Donovan, who's a single mum and floundering crime writer. She's having a hard time. Her ex-husband went behind her back to fire the nanny, and this morning she sent her 4-year-old to school with hair duct taped to her head after an unfortunate incident with scissors. Making it to lunch with her literary agent is a minor victory, but as she's discussing the plot of her latest crime novel, the conversation is misinterpreted by a woman sitting nearby as that of the hit woman offering her services to dispose of a problem husband. And when the woman slips Finley a name and a promise of a large sum of cash, Finley finds herself plotting something much bigger than a new novel. After all, they do always say, write what you know. It just sounds absolutely fantastic and hilarious, and I haven't heard a single bad thing about this book, so I'm really excited to finally pick it up. I feel like this is going to be like one of the perfect cozy reads to get into the year, and I'm very excited about it, so thank you, Michelle, for that prompt. I really do appreciate it. Book number 6. Ooh, a buddy read or a book club read by Natalia Carmen. Okay, nice. I have 2 options for this on my list as well, which is very interesting. So my options are to go for A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibbons, which is my Patreon buddy read for the months of January and February. I could leave this one till Feb, but honestly I actually kind of want to read it this month. I'm very, very excited to pick this one up. The other one is Death by Laura Thalassa, which is for the Alpha Ho book club, which is Becca's Patreon book club. So I actually think I'm going to go for Death, though. I know I really do want to read this one. It is my Patreon book club read, but if it goes into February it can do, whereas this one is the January pick, and I actually want to read this for Final Book Support Group. It's the final book in the Four Horsemen quartet, and this is the other book that I want to read as well as Running Wild for Final Book Support Group. So I'm glad I've managed to make it on. This is the Four Horsemen series. Basically we follow the 4 different horsemen, starting off with Pestilence, continuing on with, I have just read it, why am I struggling? Where are you? Christmas, why can't I find you? Continue on with War. Famine is December's pick, which I'm picking up next week. Well, next week for me, it'll be the current week for you. And then Death as the final one, and basically they're doing their bidding, exactly what they're supposed to do, and they end up falling in love with a woman, and she's trying to change him throughout the course of the book and stop him from doing what he's doing. They're quite fun to read, other than the, you know, all the death parts, but they are quite fun to read. Very quick reads, very fast paced, and I do enjoy them, but I do find that the story is quite repetitive. Obviously it's a different type of death each time, because Pestilence was, you know, diseases and sickness and stuff. War was war. Famine is going to be starvation and things like that. And then Death, I'm not sure how this one is going to go, in all honesty. I don't know if this is going to be okay. Well, Death is supposed to be the end of all humankind, obviously, so we'll have to see whether or not this woman, she's definitely got her work cut out. She's called Lazarus as well. Lazarus, haven't heard that one as a woman's name before. Nice. So yeah, going to be reading this one for a buddy read or book club pick, so yay for getting that on there. And this is the last book, so book number 7. A book with my favourite trope from Anna. Okay, so we know I love friends to lovers, fake dating, and thrillers. I love anything with, well, in general, I love anything with like a podcast element or mixed media in the book. So that's the kind of vibe I'm probably going for. So obviously we have a Dowry of Blood that I want to get on to my TBR. And I know that this is told in letter format, but I don't know if that counts as like mixed media, because it's not written as like letters. It's written normally, but they are told in letters. So I don't know if that necessarily counts. I'm wondering whether I want to try and get another thriller on here, to be honest, as well. Okay, after a long time looking, I have decided to go for another horror slash thriller, and I've gone for Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon. I really want to get to this one. It's got a podcast element in it, and I've heard great things as well. So I know that it was, I think it was a Literally Dead, no, it wasn't a Literally Dead book club pick, it was a book troop pick for Gabby's book club, and I'm fairly certain that she pretty much enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to this one. At the top it says a stellar take on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, a must for psychological thriller fans. It starts off in 1978 at her renowned treatment centre in picturesque Vermont. The brilliant psychiatrist Dr. Helen Hildreth is acclaimed for her compassionate work with the mentally ill, but at home with her cherished grandchildren, Violet and Eric, she's just Gran. One day Gran brings home a child to stay with the family. Iris, silent, hollow-eyed and skittish, thrilled to have a new playmate, V invites Iris to ride their bicycles together to go to the drive-in and join her and Eric's monster club, where they catalogue all kinds of monsters and dream up ways to defeat them, because V explains monsters are everywhere. 2019, Lizzie Shelley, nice, host of the popular podcast Monsters Among Us, is on her way to Vermont, where a young girl has been abducted and the woman in town, and the town is in uproar over a possible monster sighting. Lizzie is determined to hunt down hunt it down because she knows better than anyone that monsters are real, and one of them is her own very own sister. A haunting and vividly suspenseful page-turner from the literary descendant of Shirley Jackson. The Children on the Hill takes us on a breathless journey to face the primal fear that lurks within us all. Sounds fantastic, so I'm very excited to get to this one. So this is a book that has my favourite trope in it. I don't know if it's classed as a trope that it has a podcast element in it, but I'm saying it does, so it counts. So yeah, this is what my TBR looks like. We have 8 books on here because we've obviously got the pick from my patrons as well. So we've got Love Virtually from my patrons, we've got Fenris and Mott for a book with an animal in it, we have The Darkness Outside Us for a book that is purple on the cover, we've got Running Wild for a book that means self-care to you, we have The Priest that has a book with leaves on the cover, we've got Finley Donovan is Killing It for a title that makes me smile, we've got Death for a buddy read or book club pick, and then we have The Children on the Hill for a book with my favourite trope. So this is my TBR. I'm very excited about it actually. It's a really nice set, and I do obviously have my TBR now for Final Book Support Group as well, which, just as a quick recap, will be these two, Running Wild and also Death. It's just a 48-hour period, so I am hoping I can get through both of these. They're both reasonably sized, but I have audiobooks for them both, so one a day I reckon, and they're both pretty quick reads as well, so I'm very excited, and they will box off 2 series, which is, you know, fantastic. So very happy about that situation. I will, however, be starting 2 series to balance that out, so it might be interesting to do this in future as well, see how many series I'm finishing for the month as far as my TBR is concerned compared to how many I am starting. That would be intriguing. And at this point in time, I actually have annihilated my December TBR. I only have 2 books left, which are Winter House and also The Christmasaurus and The Naughty List, which I'm planning on reading this week before Christmas. So smashed it. Really happy with myself, very proud of myself. But yeah, that's everything. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. Have you read any of these before? Would you have picked something a bit different from what you can see right behind me for some of the books? Chat to me in the comments down below, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.